let's talk about the Gothic palette from Cosmic Brushes. This is a 12 pan palette, which is a bit different from their previous palettes that have 20 pans, but it is the same price because it does have some special shiny, shifty, sparkly eyeshadows, and this color story just really spoke to me. I absolutely love the design on the front of it. I love the theme and everything, and the color story, and they just revealed the second palette that they're going to be launching. Cannot wait. I'm definitely picking it up, so stay tuned for a video with that palette. So I'm going to be creating 2 looks with the palette, and then I'll give you some of my thoughts at the end of the video, so let's get right into it. Prime with the P. Louise base for a change because I honestly forgot I had this, and this is like full. This is the shade Rumor shade 1. I think this is the original shade, and I put down the tiniest bit. I picked up Immortal, and I'm just going to pop that into the crease and a little bit onto this outer portion as well, but I'm keeping it the crease and above. Not really worrying about getting it any further down onto my lid or anything like that. It's just adding on a little bit more. And that was the Refer 14 Max. Taking a little bit of Supreme, popping that just a little bit lower than I put the lighter shade. And I'm just gonna slowly work that up into that lighter shade. Sometimes I like to work in reverse, sometimes not. It really just depends on the day, and sometimes depends on the formula. And if I know the formula works better one way over the other, but I just wanted to do it this way. Taking the Refer 14 Mini and the shade Alter. This is so much depth. I'm so excited. And I'm just tapping it onto the outer corner. And I'm going to bring it just a little bit underneath my lower lash line. And out here, just really keeping it focused out here. Picked up Obscure, and I'm going to mist my brush just with some water, just to see if I can kind of help prevent any fallout. And that's going to go up. Ooh, that is so shiny and so sparkly. I'm using the Refer 02 Mini to do this. Just adding on a little bit more. I really want that high shine sparkle on the inner portion. And then on the rest of the lid, I think I'm gonna take, actually I'm not really sure. I'll take the shade Powerful. And again, I'm gonna mist it just a teensy bit, just to help it kind of spread out across the lid. This was not like the sparkliest. It's a little bit of a deeper, more opaque shade. I feel like these two layered over each other would be really fun too. Also could be a way to lighten the shade up if it's not something you really see yourself using a lot. That looks so beautiful. I'm gonna go back in with a little bit of more of Immortal just on the edges and just bring it up higher. Just a tad, and then I'm going in with a little bit of Supreme, and I'm just adding it in here. Just wanted it to be more floofed out here. And here's the first finished look. For the second look, again, I primed with the P. Louise primer, and I think I'm going to do an eyeshadow wing on this one. So I'm going to go in with Phantom first. This is the Game Beauty F05 brush. I actually really want to buy more of these because it's so good. I use it like every day for this exact purpose. When I do my eyeshadow, 9 times out of 10, I'm creating some sort of an eyeshadow wing. And there's a ton of other brushes I love for this, but this has been kind of my go-to. And I'm just gonna use whatever might be left on the brush, and I'm just gonna kind of smudge the edges of the liner, as well as kind of bring it really winging out here. And I think I'm gonna take a little bit of the black. It does have sparkles in it, which if you've been on my channel, you know how I feel about that, and I'm really a fan. They're just gonna blend away, but I'm just gonna really add some depth. This is a very pigmented black. Oh my goodness, look at that. And the key really is to just go in very light-handed, and I'm just kind of spreading it out at this point. And I think I'm gonna go in with a little bit more Phantom and just place it on the edge. So I have this really smoky red wing going on. I feel like the black took over a little bit. And I'm taking a little bit of lace on the rest of my crease and the lid. Just a little bit down into the lid. Super pigmented. Love this kind of tone. I think it goes perfectly into this palette. Taking Pale Moon on this pencil brush. This one is from Sigma in collaboration with Samantha. And I'm just gonna add like a highlight with that right in here. It's a little bit more of a sheer shade. I do feel like this one's not as sparkly as the iridescent shade I used on the other eye in this similar placement. But it does add a little bit of a highlight. I just misted my brush. No glitter glue or anything. And then I'm gonna use Chosen on my pinky. This one feels almost like wet, like cold to the touch. I'm definitely a little skeptical on how this would wear. I have tried a palette from them previously, the very first palette, I believe. And I didn't have the best luck with some of the shimmers in that palette. But we'll see about this one. I'm not going to be wearing this all day, but I'll keep you updated. So I just put that on the lid where I didn't have the highlight and just kind of feathered out the edges because I don't like when there's any harsh lines there. And here's the second finished look. Can we just get a moment for this packaging? It is so stunning. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. I love it, very simple and totally fits the theme. And the inside color story, I mean, I love everything about it. I love that we have some midtones, a little bit of more of a pastel, and a nice spectrum of shimmers from more opaque, darker, and then also some lighter shimmers that are also a little bit more topper-like. And there's just lots of depth, which I love that. I love more smokier kind of looks. I love to deepen out the outer corner. So this palette really just knocks it out of the park in all the aspects. No issues with the mattes whatsoever. They blended nicely. They're very pigmented. They layered really well. I was especially impressed with the darker mattes. I do feel like sometimes, it's pretty rare now in 2023, but sometimes darker mattes still are a little bit harder for some brands to get right. But Cosmic Brushes has definitely nailed it down. As for the shimmers, they apply really nicely, really easily. I had minimal fallout. I would like to point out that I had no fallout on this eye. That's pretty impressive. Of course, I think my favorite shade in here is Obscure because I love me an iridescent kind of shimmer shadow that you can just layer. So this one will be really fun to layer on top of this, and this. The multi-chrome shadow up here, it's kind of like it's not fully a black-based multi-chrome, but I would say it is like a little bit more on the jeweled side, but not fully like it feathers out to the black base. And I do like that there's only 2 really special shades in here to keep the cost down. The shade Powerful and Nocturnal, while still nice and shiny and sparkly, definitely not quite as shiny as Obscure or even Chosen. They also feel like they have a little bit of a different formula. So while they're very smooth, they do just feel a little bit squishy in the pans. And they do have a little bit more pull when you do actually touch them and swatch them compared to some of the others. Obscure is actually a little bit looser in the pan, so you will disturb it when you go in with a brush and you poke your brush in there. But it's not squishy, it's just the kind of formula it is and the pigment. And then Pale Moon is also just a really nice kind of more standard kind of smooth shimmer shade. I'm just really excited about this palette and I cannot wait to get my hands on the newest palette from them. They've been really elevating themselves with their photography, their packaging, etc. Like they're definitely got a vision and I'm so excited to see what they have coming for 2024. Definitely would say an indie brand to look out for. So let me know in the comments below which look was your favorite and if you pick this palette up or you plan on it. I would love to hear your thoughts and that's everything for this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you next time.